Let's budget as a young college student making $15 an hour. So monthly, that would be $2,400. So we're going to figure this out for each pay frequency, weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly. So weekly, that'll be $600. For bi-weekly, she'll be bringing home about $1,200, and monthly, again, is $2,400. We're going to take away our 10% for tithes and offerings. So for weekly, we're going to deduct $60. Bi-weekly, we're going to deduct $120. And then for monthly, that looks like $240. And we're going to round up these amounts just to cover for offering. So weekly is 70. Bi-weekly, we're going to round it up to $130. And then monthly, we're going to round it up to $250. So we're going to take out the 130 from the 1200, and the remaining amount we're going to have to budget with is $1,070. So now let's figure out our expenses. So for fixed expenses, we're going to say her rent monthly, she normally pays $850. For her electricity, we're going to just say she pays $80. And then for her phone bill, we're going to say she pays $30. Now, we need to break these amounts up because we're using the bi-weekly example. So we're going to divide how much we're going to take out each paycheck. So for rent, she's going to put aside $425 per check. Again, she gets paid bi-weekly, so we're splitting it up between the two checks. For electricity, it's going to be $40 on paycheck number 1 and $40 on paycheck number 2. Phone, it's $30, so she pays $15 on one check and then $15 on her second. Now we're going to find out her total amount that she's got to put aside per check, which is going to be $480. So now we're going to figure out her variable expenses. So groceries, we're going to say she saves about $150 monthly. For gas, we're going to say she saves $40. And then for her miscellaneous expenses, we're going to say she sets aside $100. So two checks again, paycheck number 1 and 2. She's going to put aside $75 for her groceries per check. And it's going to be $20 for gas. And then for miscellaneous, she's going to do $50 per check. So now we're going to add up these amounts, and the total per check that she needs to set aside for her variables is going to be $145 per check. So now we're going to take and whatever she has remaining, which is the $1,070, and we're going to bring that down here. And I'm sorry guys, this did cut off, I didn't realize, but we're going to take the total the $1,070, and we're going to deduct the two amounts for her expenses, the fixed expenses and her variables, and the total that's going to come out to be. So we're going to take the 480 and the 145, and that should bring us to $625 a month. Per check, for her expenses. So when you take that amount, we're going to figure out what we're going to have remaining left to be able to budget with or to put in our sinking funds, which is $445. So she can either take all of that and put it in her savings, or she can divide it amongst her sinking funds. But that concludes this one.